discussed in the previous class. Today we will talk about the effect of gyroscopic action and precessional motion on a rotating body when a torque is applied. So as discussed, now let us consider the fact that there is a disc, there is a rotating disc which is actually having an anti-clockwise direction of rotation when seen from the front. As we have discussed yesterday in yesterday's class, that the direction of the spin vector is actually acting in this way. That is, if this is the direction of the rotation of the disc, the spin vector will be acting in this way. So this can be very well explained with the help of a thumb rule. So if you are looking from the back, so this is having a clockwise direction, clockwise sense of rotation, and so the spin vector will be acting in the forward direction. Similar thing is when you are looking from the front. If you are looking from the front, it is having an anti-clockwise direction of rotation, and similarly the spin vector will be heading towards your eye. So just like that. So this is the original vector OX. Now let us assume that there will be certain change in the angular velocity. So let this be rotating with an angular velocity of omega radian per second. So if there is a change in the angular velocity, now our main interest is to find that what will be the effect on the system whenever there is a change in the angular velocity. So this can be very well explained with the help of a block diagram, or with the help of a vector diagram. So suppose this is the initial vector OX and its magnitude is omega. So you are saying that this is the magnitude of omega, obviously from this value. As omega is the angular velocity, this is the vector which is representing the angular velocity. Now let us consider that in time, within a differential period of time del t, this is traversing, this vector is changing its position and is taking a new position, thereby traversing a distance del theta. So let us consider that at a certain interval of time, so let us consider at a certain interval of time del t, this spin vector has traversed an angular distance of del theta, where the new angular velocity will be omega plus del omega, and this is x. So what is actually happening in the system? A system which is initially having an angular velocity of omega wishes to change its angular velocity to a new value. So let us consider that this new value will be omega plus del omega, and we have taken certain assumption that with the course of change of the angular velocity, there is also a change in the position of the spin vector. It assumes a new position from OX to that of OX dash, and as you see that the magnitude of velocity vector is more, so obviously the length of OX dash will be more in comparison to OX. So it is traversing a distance del theta, and this is actually happening in practice. Whatever we are taking into assumption, this is actually happening in practice. That whenever the angular velocity of any system changes, then its position also changes. The spin vector also changes its position. We have taken this as an assumption, and later on we will find that yes, this is true. Our assumption is true. So now let us see what we can do. As the angular velocity has been changed over a period of time del t, it indicates that the system is subjected to certain acceleration. The system is subjected to certain angular acceleration. So obviously, we can calculate what will be the magnitude of the angular acceleration which is being subjected to this disc. So we can see that this disc is subjected to certain angular acceleration, and now we are interested to find about the magnitude of this angular acceleration. So this vector from x to x dash, we can say this will be the resultant, and this will denote what is the magnitude of the angular acceleration or the rate of change of angular velocity? X dash. So alpha can be defined by x dash. So now in this case we want to find out the magnitude of x dash, the actual angular acceleration. And we can see that in practice what is happening. In practice, whenever the disc, that's rotating disc, which is changing its angular velocity, we can see that two things are occurring simultaneously. What is that? One is the angular velocity increases, simultaneously there is also a shift in the angular position. So this is indicating somewhat similarity to that of the Coriolis component of acceleration. We have seen this type of phenomena taking place in shaper mechanism, that whenever a link is having an angular movement, this is also subjected to certain amount of translationally movement, and the total movement is a combination of radial plus tangential. So similarly, this component can be divided into two factors. If I say this is y and this is perpendicular line, so this component xy, this is denoting the tangential component of acceleration, and this component is denoting the radial component of acceleration perpendicular to this. Why tangential? Because it is traversing in this direction, so it is the tangential component, and perpendicular to it is the radial component. So both of them will have certain effect on the system, and the actual acceleration will be vector summation of the tangential component and the radial component. So now let us find out what is the magnitude of these two components, tangential and radial. So first of all, tangential component. So this is equal to, we can say, this is xy divided by del in period of time del. So this can be written as Ox dash cos del theta minus Ox divided by del. So that is equal to omega plus del omega cos del theta minus omega divided by del. And this can be simplified as omega cos del theta plus del omega cos del theta minus omega divided by del. So now, as the magnitude of del theta is very small, so cos del theta tends to 1. So if del theta tends to 1, so this becomes omega minus omega. So these two components gets cancelled, and this is simply del omega del. And in the limit, when del t tends to 0, this actually becomes d omega dt. In the limit when del t tends to 0, the tangential component of acceleration is actually d omega dt. What is d omega dt? It is simply the rate of change of angular velocity, whatever is happening. So this is the tangential component of acceleration. Now let us have a look into the radial component of acceleration. Radial component of acceleration. So this is x dash y divided by del. So that is omega plus del omega sin del theta divided by del t. So this is omega sin del theta plus del omega sin del theta divided by del t. Now you can notice that del omega and sin del theta, this will be very negligible term and this can be eliminated from the expression. So this is omega sin del theta by del t, and in the limit when del theta tends to 0, sin del theta is equal to del theta. So that is equal to omega into del theta by del t. So this can be eliminated, so it becomes omega into del theta by del t. And in the limit when del t tends to 0, this radial component of acceleration will be omega into d theta dt. This will be omega into d theta dt. Now what is omega? Omega is the actual angular velocity for the disk. And what is d theta? What is theta? Theta is the angular displacement of the axis of spin. And what is d theta dt? D theta dt means rate of change of angle theta. So how you are going to define this d theta dt? The thing is, suppose we have this spin vector. This is the axis of spin and this is the spin vector. Now this spin vector is continuously rotating where the angular velocity is omega. Now I want that this angular velocity should be increased from omega to some other value. So what will happen? We can see we have taken into assumption that it is traversing a distance d del theta and the new angular velocity will be omega plus del omega. What we are actually taking into assumption, this is actually happening. Like whenever this particular vector wants to change the magnitude, then automatically this change will be followed by a change in the position. It will traverse a distance del theta or d theta, whatever you say, like this. So how this is possible? Now if you say these two lines, these are something like a link. So when this one will rotate, this one will rotate. If it is connected to this, when this one is rotating, this is also rotating like this. So this is another axis. This is another axis which is perpendicular to the axis of spin. So whenever this axis is rotating, this perpendicular axis is rotating, we can see that the axis of spin is also assuming a new position. And this rotation is actually being defined by theta, because theta is totally connected to its rotation around its own axis. So this is known as actually the angular velocity of this d theta dt. This is actually the rate of change of angular velocity of the axis of spin. This is known as the axis of precession, okay, perpendicular to the axis of spin. So d theta dt is actually the rate of change of angular displacement for the axis of spin, because this is itself rotating, and that's why this axis of spin is also rotating, just like this. So if we say what is the total acceleration alpha, that is equal to d omega dt, alpha equal to d omega dt plus omega into d theta dt, or we can say d omega dt plus omega into omega p. This d theta dt is known as omega p, where omega p is known as angular velocity of axis of precession. angular velocity of the axis of precession. So what is this axis of precession? This axis of precession is perpendicular to the axis of spin, and whenever it is rotating, this is also assuming a new position, OX. So this is the function of axis of precession. So you can see when both of them are connected together, whenever this is rotating, this is also rotating. Okay, and this axis of spin is assuming a new position. Okay, so this is actually what is the main idea of gyroscopic couple. And the most important thing is I can consider a plane here, I can consider another plane here, okay, and I can consider a third plane here. So this is one plane, OX, OY, and this is OZ. Okay, so these are the three planes. This is the plane OXZ, this is the plane OYZ, and this is the plane OXY. Okay, this is the plane OXY. Now they are having certain relation. What is that? As we can see that the disc is spinning in this direction, so this plane is actually parallel to the plane of spinning. This one is parallel to the plane of spinning. So we say this is plane of spin. This plane, that is OZY, this plane is the plane of spin, because the disc is rotating like this. So parallel to the plane, parallel to this is the plane of spin. Now, due to this, what is happening? If you want to change the angular velocity, so obviously it assumes a new position like this, and this is possible only when this axis of spin, this is rotating. So this is known as axis of spin. Always remember, for gyroscopic action to take place, the axis of spin should always be perpendicular. This is not spin. This is axis of precession. For gyroscopic action to take place, the axis of precession should always be perpendicular to the axis of spin. So both of them should be perpendicular. If both of them are parallel to each other, no gyroscopic action will be occurring into the system. They should always be perpendicular to each other. So this is known as the axis of precession. This is the plane of spin. And if I want to change the angular velocity, obviously the new axis of spin will assume a position here. Suppose OX dash. Okay. So what is actually happening? This is the this plane, that is OZX. This plane becomes the plane of gyroscopic couple, because I am applying a torque here. So this is changing. So this direction OX that we are talking about, this is the direction of active gyroscopic couple. And opposite to this, if this is active, that means if the rotation is taking place in this direction, then this axis becomes axis of active gyroscopic couple, and opposite to this becomes axis of reactive gyroscopic couple. Axis of active gyroscopic couple and axis of reactive gyroscopic couple. Just like that of the centripetal and the centrifugal force. Whenever a system or whenever an object is rotating with respect to a fixed center, we know that some active forces are acting on the body, that is known as the centripetal force, and in order to balance the centripetal force, the reactive forces are applied on the body, that is the centrifugal force. As long as both the forces are in equilibrium with each other, the system remains under dynamic equilibrium condition. Similar is the case here. Whenever a system is being subjected to some change in the angular velocity, whenever a system is subjected to some change in the angular velocity, suppose I am moving in this way, okay, so this is an engine, this is the rotor, it is rotating like this, and by some action I want to take a turn either in the left direction or in the right direction. So when this rotor, or you can say the flywheel, when this is rotating in this direction, so that will be the axis of spin pointing towards you. Now when I am willing to change the direction, the axis of spin will also change its direction. Now the question is whether this will occur in a flat surface. Yes, we can see that the vehicle is moving on a flat surface, but yes, still there are certain changes which are occurring in the system. We'll come to this one by one. But what is this change? Whenever the direction of couple is changing, you see, this is the main direction of the main axis. This is the direction of the this is the main direction in which we want to take some turn. Either this may be the direction or this may be the direction. It depends on the system, or it depends upon the situation. So if it is taking a turn in this direction, obviously certain couple will be acting. Now what is the sense of couple? That is always shown by the right hand thumb rule. If this is the direction of movement, the couple or the active couple will always be acting in the downward direction. And in order to balance this, you have to apply the reactive couple. What will be the sense of reactive couple? The sense of reactive couple will always be acting in the upward direction, just like this. So if this is the direction of active, this will be the direction of reactive. If this is the direction of active, then the sense of the couple is in the downward direction. And for this, if it is the reactive, the sense of the couple will be in the upward direction. So you have to adjust the system as per the direction of rotation. We will be coming to this later on, but for today only take this example, that in order for gyroscopic action to take place, the axis of speed should always be perpendicular to the axis of precision, and the axis of precision should itself move with a certain angular velocity, that is known as the angular velocity of precision, omega p, which is d theta dt. Because what is happening, whenever, if you see this as a link, then whenever this is rotating, this will assume a new position. If it is rotating in this direction, this will assume a new position. Both of them are connected to each other like this. Okay? So they should be perpendicular to each other. And if it is the direction, suppose the rotation is taking place in this way, so the active gyroscopic couple will be acting in this way and the reactive will be acting in the opposite direction. And you have to always apply the reactive gyroscopic couple in order to balance the system. Take for example an aeroplane. Whenever it is taking certain turn, left turn or right turn, you can imagine what is the speed of the aeroplane. Something like 400 to 500 kilometer. 400 to 500 kilometer, what is the kilometer per hour? Okay, 400 to 500 kilometer per hour. Now with that speed, suppose the plane is flying, and with that speed, if it is taking a turn, what will be the effect of centrifugal force on your body? You will be just thrown out from the aeroplane, but that is not happening. Why it is not happening? Because the reactive couple that was actually being produced in the body, this is actually being balanced by the active couple which was produced in the body due to the rotation of the plane, that is actually being balanced by the reactive couple. How this is being balanced, we'll come to it later. You can see that whenever a plane is taking a turn, it does not take place in the same plane. Either it moves up or it moves down. That means either the nose will point in the upward direction or the tail will point in the upward direction. Okay, something like this or something like this. But it does not happen in the same plane. Similar is the case for a vehicle. Whenever a vehicle is taking a turn, We do not see the vehicle moving up and down, but still we can see there are certain banking angle on the roads, which is with reference to the surface of the road. Yes, we can say now the vehicle is tilted. Best example is a cycle, a two-wheeler vehicle. We see whenever it is moving on a plain road, it is totally perpendicular to the surface of the road. But whenever it is taking certain turn, you have to lean. What is the meaning of this leaning? The meaning of the leaning is you are actually applying the reactive gyroscopic couple in order to balance this. If you are not leaning, then you will be just thrown outside. Is this clear? So you always have to lean in the direction of the rotation. So in the next class, we will discuss about the different types of movement that are being made by the vehicles. We will take for example an aeroplane, we will take for example ship, and we will also find out the stability criteria for four-wheel vehicle as well as for the two-wheel vehicle. But always remember, for gyroscopic action to take place, the axis of spin should always be perpendicular to the axis of precession. If both of them are parallel, no action will take place. They should be always perpendicular to each other. And the active gyroscopic couple always takes place in the direction of rotation. Suppose it is rotating in this way, so the active couple will be acting in this way, and this will be the sense of the couple. In order to balance the system, you have to apply the reactive couple in the opposite direction, and that will be pointing in the upward direction. So that's all for today. Thank you.